I'm Ryan, this is my brother Daniel, and this is Rolls in the Family, and we've got a special guest back. Definitely, a week in the future.
Yep.
From the previous
We even set aside
video.
the same clothes.
Yep, to make sure for consistency on the channel.
That's right.
We are talking about our sister Kaitlyn's top 10 board games of all time. Best of the best, according to Kaitlyn. Will we agree?
Absolutely not.
Probably not, but I'm intrigued. I will say I know there's some new games that I haven't heard yet that I will either be impressed how high they are or surprised that they missed.
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't make
Well, and
it.
I will say, I always appreciate Kaitlyn's list because, Ryan, we have some variants, but we're pretty similar.
We're more similar.
Oh, Kaitlyn's an absolute wild card. Who knows what's going to show up
Who
here?
knows?
Yeah, I think
So buckle up, folks.
Yeah.
We will have links to all these games down below if they sound intriguing to you and you would like to check them out. But without further ado, let's kick it off with number 10.
Number 10. It's a new game this year. I've played it once, and it's based off a video game. Number 10 goes to Clank Catacombs.
Oh, Clank Catacombs. That's actually not based off a video game.
Is it not?
I think
Yeah,
you're thinking of you're probably thinking of a different game that Ryan got this last year that's based off a video game.
But that's
No,
not.
but she hasn't played that one.
But she hasn't played that one, so you're absolutely not
No,
thinking
Clank-
of that one.
Clank Catacombs.
Is it really not?
It's not. Clank is actually an
Oh, it's an
original
old-
game by the same company that does Dune Imperium, in fact. And Catacombs is a newer version of it. Great to
There
hear.
you
This
have
is
it.
so
Wow.
high on the list.
Number 10, new. Yeah,
I
Kaitlyn.
think this is so high because the game she played, she got to watch her boyfriend just be completely left behind to die in the depths of the
Yes.
catacombs.
That game, I went for the strategy of versus staying in longer. I was close to the first relic that came out. I went, I got it, and then I got out right away. I would have been out a turn or two turns sooner if there wasn't like a 180-degree flip of the tiles.
But you gotta
that
love
all
those.
people
Something
were on.
comes up and
Yeah.
changes the map.
And that's why I think you were able to get out, is because that happened. But that kind of ruined my boyfriend. And yes, he died in the rubble with the
Right.
dragon.
Yeah,
Which made
it's
for an overall very positive experience.
Well, it is it's an interesting just kind of feel to the game that I feel like you don't see very often, of this whole kind of exploring out and then needing to kind of run back, and the timing, like in some ways, Ryan, it kind of almost just like from a timing perspective reminds me of almost Great Western Trail, of a game where you're really trying to feel out the pace. And your pace can change depending on what other people are doing.
And will need to change. Yeah, like if somebody goes really fast, you need to figure out, how you're going to deal with that.
Right.
Yeah, and so out of the three of us, Daniel, you're the only one actually that can speak to Clank Catacombs versus other versions of Clank, because you've played Clank in space.
Yeah. Briefly.
But
once, I think.
I think all of us,
Yeah.
having played Catacombs, feel that the dynamic map element, which that's unique to Catacombs, the other ones just have a static board, is a huge part of the fun of the experience.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's everyone has their preferences. Some people might like the predictability of being able to like look at a whole map and see their path. I couldn't go back to playing with it's just, that is such an incredible benefit to be able to have this exploration feel. The tiles are so fun and interesting. I mean, there's so many times where we pull a tile and you're just like, oh, especially because you can orient it.
Well, and that's what I was going to say is it rewards you for exploring, because you get to decide, and you have this decision of like, how do I want to orient this?
Yeah, and like what benefits me most. But then if you somehow land on that one and you get the 180 flip from the thing, you're like, well, now it's not how I want this piece to be at all.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think that's a fun aspect. And then the dragon, I think that's a fun aspect. Whenever
Yeah, I mean,
draw
even
from the
once you're
bag.
out, you get the fun of playing I'm going to keep hitting everybody to try to knock them out.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one I think has been a winner so far with both of you and other people I've played it with, and is nice because it is sitting more in that like 60-minute game, and not overly complicated. Another deck builder though, Kaitlyn.
Oh.
The deck builder, changing the narrative
Change
on
of heart.
Kaitlyn and deck builders.
The narrative.
Yeah, maybe it's only deck builders designed by Paul Denon.
Yes,
It's the same designer. It's
the same
designer,
That's
Dune
the new
Imperium.
narrative.
Dune Imperium and Clank Catacombs are the same.
There you have it.
There you have it.
There you have it.
Has he made any others?
That's a good question. I think he's got a new game coming out that's gonna have like bag building, kind of like Quacks. I don't know much about it.
Well,
but-
Kaitlyn needs to check that out.
We'll
Check
see.
it out. I'll let
All
you
right.
know. Number 9.
Number 9.
New to the list this year. And I actually bought the game myself. And I was telling Ryan I need to play it again with you. So I'm just reminded how to play.
I was surprised when I sent you the list that this wasn't. I didn't realize you hadn't played it.
It was a
before
while
last
since I
year.
played it. So I was
Yeah.
like, I need a better opinion on it. But number 9 goes to Cascadia.
Wow. Okay. It's funny. I did see that you bought Cascadia and didn't realize how much you liked it.
Yeah, I think it's like pairing like the animal with the tile and making your terrain, trying to build up the terrain to be bigger.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of stuff. I just kind of enjoy that. I think with the puzzle, it's a little bit of a puzzle for me, like Tetris-y type thing, putting that together because I want my terrain to be all nice looking,
Mm-hmm.
not just have like a random mountain and this there, that there.
Yeah.
I do care about it being bigger, which does give you points in the end. Your biggest
It
one.
incentivizes you to do that.
Exactly. But also I just like the different aspects of like, oh, I want this tile, but that has a hawk with it, and I can't put hawks next to each other because they're
Yeah, the paired
Gonna, like-
drafting
It's
The
so
adds
good.
a lot of
Paired.
just interesting decisions.
Yeah.
I think
It's a game that allows as we've said a lot, like as much thinking as you want. Like I think that's what I like about it is I've played this with people who aren't super gamery, and the rule set's very simple, and yet I'm over here like crunching how to optimize this
How
puzzle.
can every hawk get the maximum number of points?
I've done it.
yes.
Yeah, I think it is interesting because I think oftentimes we peg you, Kaitlyn, with like, oh, Kaitlyn likes these really interactive games and like, but there are certain games that are more in that like work on your puzzle genre that you do enjoy quite a bit. So Cascadia is one example.
There it is. And I feel like Cascadia, since it's a little bit of work on one of those your own things, where I could just like pull it out with one other person, just a 2-player game. Because like there's other games that I own that I'm like, okay, it's fine with 2 people, but you prefer a bigger group with it. And Cascadia, I would say, can fit well with kind of any number.
You're not pulling out Cosmic with 2 people.
Not pulling out Cosmic, not pulling out what was the other game? Killer Bunnies. I got Killer Bunnies again recently.
Oh, which I can only presume is coming up in this video.
That's true. Number 1 still for the taking.
Yeah.
It's true, but I made a joke about Killer Bunnies in the last year's video being in my top 10. But then my boyfriend got it for me for Christmas, and he said it was super hard to find, so I taught it to him again recently. And like it was fun with 2, but like that's definitely like a game where I'm like, I want
You want to
3,
choose
4
who you're
people at
attacking.
least.
That's right.
For those who don't know at home, Killer Bunnies was kind of our whole
Yeah.
entry.
That's what started it all. You're watching this channel today because of Killer
would
Bunnies,
not be
so
here
you better go
if-
pick up a copy.
What, 17 years ago?
remember.
Is it really that long?
Yeah.
Man.
No, it's true. There's no spite if there's only one other person to attack. So Kaitlyn doesn't get to.
But enough about Killer Bunnies.
That's right.
Cascadia. A nice relaxing pick.
It is.
Honestly,
no
couldn't
spite
be
in
more different
Cascadia.
than Killer Bunnies.
Yeah.
Killer Bunnies.
Not really different. Yeah. Have it.
It's true.
Okay.
What are we at? 8?
My number 8. It dropped.
It
But
dropped.
still, it dropped. It's still warms my
Still in
heart.
your
It's in the
top
top 10. It's a card game where you want to play like full houses. There's a bomb you could play, some special cards. Number 8 goes to Tichu.
Mm.
It's
Still firmly in the top 10
still
now.
firmly in the
Yeah.
top 10. There's just a lot of good memories surrounding it. And unfortunately, the core group I now play it with isn't really all together.
It's less frequent that we have the opportunity. There was a stretch there
Mhm.
where we had like a group of 4 with two of my friends, and Kaitlyn and I would actually normally be partners in this game.
Yeah.
For a while. So
Man.
I
had
thought
an
we were a good team. So
I had an incredible game of Tichu, like, I don't know, a month or 2 ago. And it's just, like, if you've watched this channel, we rave about this little card game. Gosh, I almost feel like with how cheap it is, it's like, how can you not buy it? I mean, unless you hate trick-taking games, like,
you need this
actively hate
specific group. You need to be
Right.
like, I'm going to have exactly 4 people that are going to play that same group.
But for
over
the
and
money,
over.
they give you
Yeah,
2
yeah.
decks.
Yeah, you want to play with the red deck or the gold deck today?
Exactly. I think, and I don't know if you guys kind of agree with this, but Tichu feels like the one kind of card game that has elevated to where it competes with bigger board games in our rankings and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it feels like this big, satisfying experience when you have a good Tichu game.
Exactly, yeah. And I think the passing of the cards aspect is interesting, too, because obviously you'll give lower cards, if possible, to, like, the people on the other team.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you pass to your partner, like, you could pass them the dog, being like, I have a really good hand. I hope they can take the trick once, and I'm kind of hoping that's a Tichu round for me, and they can give me the trick. But it's also then for that your partner knowing when to take the trick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love how you're not only giving a card to them to use, but it's your one way to communicate anything with them.
It's so
true. So it's like sometimes I have things where it's like, okay, it's better for me if I give them this, but that's actually not. Like, what are they going to think? Mm-hmm. And that might not actually be what I want them to think if I give them this card. So it's very interesting.
Yeah, it is amazing, Ryan, because as you were saying that, I mean, when you're choosing to play Tichu, I mean, I'm choosing that instead of, for
like main
people,
event.
That's the best group number. Like, you're talking about a full game, one of our bigger games. If you're playing a full game of Tichu, and yet I feel like if we ever have a group where they all like Tichu, and there's 4 of us, it's like, how can we not play Tichu?
Yeah,
like,
totally.
You know what I mean? It's like, we have the group. We got to make it happen.
Absolutely. We were pretty good about making it happen when we had our core 4.
Yep, we're gonna have to find the opportunities. I guess your boyfriend hasn't played Tichu.
He hasn't.
So
and Toby's growing up.
Yeah, and Toby, it's only a matter of time. You don't need to know how to read to play Tichu.
No. Didn't know what a number is.
Yeah. Cool.
Classic. Number 7. Another new game this year.
Man, good year.
Beating out Tichu.
I've played it twice. And it's another like puzzly aspect of the game. And I enjoy the 4 tracks on the side that you have to work on building up.
This was one I was wondering about. This is pretty high.
It's pretty high. But number 7 goes to Planet Unknown. It's, I don't know. It spoke to me when I played.
I had no. Yeah, it spoke to Daniel too. I looked around the table and this game was speaking to a lot of people. This is one I did not know. I had like no prediction on whether you were gonna like this game or not. But when we were playing, I was like, Kaitlyn's liking this. I could tell.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those. It's a little bit of you're in your own world, kind of. After
literally, it's like
lazy Susan.
That was a good pun.
Lazy Susan. Turns it that you have to pick a tile out. Then you have your 4 things on the side you move up the track for, depending on what terrain you get. But then, like, the thing as I was thinking about on the way here was like, sure, like if you move up on the water quickly, great, you're getting points faster. But then in like the gray or the tech one, you're not getting to look at the round cards as much, and then other people are getting those. And I think I lacked how important those are, because those are good.
They're very good.
Those Civ cards. It is one of the hard things to teach on like a first, because it's like, and if you go up on the Civ track, you'll get to draw from the mystery pile. And it's like, well, how as a new player do you like quantify that? I really should like show an example from each to just be like, here's kind of the level of impact these are. But yeah, it is one of those games where you want to do everything. You're like, oh, I really want to go up on this track. Oh, but it's really good if I go up on this track. But you can't do it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned this in one of your videos recently. We played with the special planets.
Yeah.
In one of our last games.
Yeah, you were in that game.
I had I think it was the fire planet.
Oh yeah, yours was like a lack of a planet.
Yeah.
You had to like go around it.
I had to go around it.
Yeah, you ended the game too early. I was not happy about that.
I wasn't trying. I couldn't put a piece down. But I enjoyed, like, I had to think about the ecosystem, the green one, because I couldn't go up on it unless I was making it grow bigger. So the first green piece I play down
your corporation was really weird. It like had these double green spaces, and you got to like choose the reward, but you only like moved up if you were expanding an existing green area. And we talked about this when we I think it was in our top play video that we were talking about Planet Unknown, that those corporations, I mean, the 3 that we had was putting us on wildly different feeling games. And I'm not sure we were really that aware of what other people were doing.
Absolutely no idea.
But talking about it afterwards, and even when I just like explained them, I'm like, man, these are like really, really different. And that's super cool in that game.
Yeah, this was one of the best first impressions I've had of a board game playing
Just saying something. I've seen... I just, if this was a movie, I'd have a flashback to all Daniel's reactions within the first 2 minutes of a game.
Was this the earliest declaration?
I don't think so. I don't think so. But
or like the first turn in the game.
Clearly positive.
But man, it just mechanics. It has like so many things I love. Simultaneous play. Polyomino pieces, tight, fitting things together, going up on tracks, comboing, like
Lazy Susans.
Lazy Susans. I will play any game with a Lazy Susan, man. Yeah. And it's so great. It is like, I mean, obviously they like need it to make the game work, but the design is just perfect. It is such a functional way of making that mechanic work so well and quick for everyone.
And that simultaneous play, you feel like you've done the equivalent of what you would do in like a 2-hour or longer game.
I feel like I've played Terraforming
And then we
Mars.
look at the clock and we're like, we were like just over an hour.
Yeah.
And that's awesome.
Yeah.
It is.
Another thing I like about it is the only way you are kept accountable to like kind of the people around you is those objectives that are in between you and the people next to you.
Yeah.
I enjoy that aspect too. So it gives you a reason to still peek over.
I do really like that. Yeah.
So not like completely in your own world, because like you're scoring for stuff on your board, but it's like, but if they beat you out on that's like 5 points you're missing out on.
Yeah. And I like that it's not just objective forever. Like I don't know, for some reason the fact that it's just you for this one and just you for this one, I like the narrow aspect of it.
Well, and you're the only person that cares about those two.
Yeah.
Because each of your neighbors has some other thing that they're trying to do in addition.
Right.
And so I like that uniqueness of it.
Mm-hmm.
It was interesting thinking back to our last game. I think it was your wife, Daniel, that had the Mars, kind of like the red ones, where she needed the biggest red section,
oh yeah, her too.
But also the least amount of red terrains.
The most different groups. She needed the biggest one, and we were like, oh, that's kind of unfortunate, but I think she did well in it because
she just played
if you go really hard on it,
it's true.
Yeah, I'm glad both of you had such positive experiences with it, because this is one I was definitely excited about getting. I had such high hopes for this one. Going up to 6 players, simultaneous playing, just a lot of things that's going on, and I think it's clearly delivered.
It's a winner. I mean, it made my top 10, so...
I mean, it didn't make the top 5, but...
That's right.
Can't do
absolutely
it all.
not. Need a couple more plays for that.
Yeah.
Alrighty, we're to
I'm
number
intrigued
6.
Here. Oh, number 6. I thought that was...
Ryan thought he was making a great transition, but...
Number 6.
Fix it in post.
This is another fitting stuff together. Not physically pieces. You're drawing the pieces. They've got some seasons. Number 6 goes to cartographers.
Nice.
Wow.
Another polyomino puzzly one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did not know you liked this one that much.
Yeah, we played it again recently, and I think it was with my boyfriend again. I don't know, I like the aspect of trying to figure out how you want to piece stuff together and the different terrains, and like I think I mentioned this last year because I think it was in my top 20 somewhere last year of spring you're scoring this like in the first round, but then you don't sort of spring again until like the very last round, so like
and you see it all up front.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
love that you know kind of what you're going after.
So you're like, even though spring's scoring this round, I could prep a little bit for next round, so I'm not scrambling, but I do like the aspect of scoring differently each round. And
right.
Yeah, this one, I love cartographers. It's one of my favorite in this genre. I think the combination of the variable goals, always making it feel different, but then it so does what I want in this type of polyomino game, where it gets more and more constrained as you go, and you get to play that end game where you're feeling pretty constrained. Like there's some games that I feel like don't let you get that far, like, and we love that, like that really trying to puzzle things in, and like, did I set myself up for this? And all in a pretty short playing time, and it's so kind of functional with the actually drawing on it. We have laminated and used wet erase on them, which is great. Just go rinse it off at the end.
Right.
But yeah, I'm glad again. It's always nice because Kaitlyn lives here in the same area.
Not in that
studio.
Not in the studio. Yeah, we occasionally let her out.
You never
of the
know.
studio.
You never see her sleeping behind the camera.
Yeah. So keep quiet, Kaitlyn. We're filming. No, but Kaitlyn ends up coming, to more of my game days than I have opportunities to do with like Daniel. So it's always nice to hear that she likes games that I also like.
Yeah, I'll actually be more readily available now.
Kaitlyn graduated from nursing school. Kaitlyn, and has a job as a nurse.
I do. Thank you. Start in July.
Let's go.
Congratulate Kaitlyn in the
Big
comments
things
below.
ahead.
Big things ahead. Okay, we're just top 5.
Speaking of big things
Just as big as
ahead,
my top 5.
goodness.
my
Here
goodness,
we go.
this is
Number 5.
Ooh.
Still in my top 5, but it dropped. I think it
Sure.
was my number 2 last year.
Ooh.
Number 5.
I didn't look at your list from
It's
last
got
year.
some
I don't
more.
remember.
It's got some conflict.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Number 5, Yellow and Yancey.
Yeah.
I still just like the chaos that this game can cause.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I'm losing, but we're going to cause chaos.
I think you've gotten better, though, at, like, doing it to your own benefit. And I think,
I think so.
There were some early games of Yellow and Yangtze. It's like, I don't think that helps you.
Yeah.
But you recently, I think, won this, right?
I
for the
think
first
I won
time.
the last time we played.
Yeah, that had
Yeah.
to.
That's a big one to win.
And it was a
Thank you.
4-player
Yeah.
game
Players.
with like
not solo.
heavy hitting participants. I'm not just talking about myself. Just saying this was a very competitive
Yeah.
4-player game of Yellow of Yangtze, and
Right.
came out on top.
Yeah, no, it was good. It's like the aspect of the game. I do think I'm better about not causing chaos that hurts me. There was one time, I think it was with friend Steve, we did it, where I went, I think it was to war against him. That the one where you just go one-on-one and not between all the leaders.
That would
Or
be
is that conflict?
a revolt, I think is the terminology.
But I was convinced. I had like 3 of the color I needed to do the attack.
The black tiles.
And I go for it. And he was like, oh, I wouldn't do that if I were you. But I was like, I'm confident with what I know.
Yeah, you can bluff.
And I'm like, he's bluffing. And so I went for it. I lost. And then he attacked me on his very next turn. And he still had more of the stuff, the color to attack me.
Yeah, it was a dark 2 turns for
dark 2 turns.
Caitlin's positioning on the
That
board.
game can have that.
Yeah,
That game-
things can happen, and you can end up that you have all your leaders off the board, and you're like, how am I going to get
So
back
bad.
in this?
But
But you've played this one quite a few times now. And yeah,
Mhm.
it's
Yeah.
really unique. I mean, there's not a
It's-
lot of
yeah.
games I have like it.
It rewards like creative play, I feel like. Because
Totally.
man, you're just looking at the map trying to figure out how in the world am I gonna, make a clever move. And man, when you pull something, there's so much opportunity for just, oh wow, that was a really interesting move that
It's
you
brilliant
did there.
that they give you 2 actions, because that's what adds so much creativity, is because you can do a first thing that like opens the door to then
a
lock
second.
something in with your second
Yeah.
action.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good one.
There you go.
More conflict. We were for a second there. I was like, I don't know. Caitlin's had change of heart. We've had
I know.
Cascadia, Planet Unknown,
Thought she was-
Cartographers. Is it just the time
A
for
new year, new Caitlyn.
low conflict puzzly games? But
Yeah.
Yo and Yangtze is pretty high conflict.
The next one's definitely not conflict among players, at least. We're a team on this one.
Okay, team.
Yeah, a
This is
team
number
of
4.
investigators. Yeah, number 4.
Mm,
We're a team of investigators. It's been
Mhm.
a while since I've played it, but it's just near and dear to my heart. Number 4, Eldritch Horror.
yeah.
The
This feels
good
like one that's going to be high on your list for a
Forever.
long time. And it's been high on
And
Dango
ever.
and mine so long.
Yeah.
But it's like, it isn't just a like new game that you're,
Yeah.
it's like we've been playing this for over a decade, have had so
Mhm.
Yep.
many good games of it.
Absolutely. Then just getting the different characters. Like one game, you could be like, I'm the fighter.
Mhm.
That's what I'm built for. And then the next one, you could be like, well, I'm gonna go into gates, I guess. Like that's what I'm useful for this game. So like the different like uses you can be used for, and just it's just a good game. I mean, between the locations and having to get to read different cards, even in like the wilderness, city, or sea, when you flip those cards, you could read the sea for one location, but like the city's completely
Yeah.
different. So like
And I have all the
Different.
expansions, so the
Got a
amount of
lot.
event cards, like
It's so good.
the possibilities. I mean, I know for a fact that I haven't seen a ton of them, and that's
Yeah.
cool to go into the game. And now there's the ones that somehow end up, we've said before, how many times do I have to wake up in the past and
My
open the closet door and have my father almost kill me? For some reason, that card finds its way to the top of our deck on every shuffle, but it is a sandbox.
I was thinking about that, just how much of a sandbox that game is. It feels like a lot of newer games are leaning more into whether it's campaigns, story-driven, but as a result, more controlled environments. And I think that's one of, like, there's still variability and stuff, but I think that's one of the things we love about Eldritch is it's like, who knows where this thing is going to go, right?
And there's a lot of things about like Eldritch, and honestly, a lot of the games in that era of Fantasy Flight games that I think in today's age is almost like labeled as kind of like less elegant game design, and it's maybe not following best game design principles. But I think there's a lot of people, and ourselves included, that it's like, yeah, but it gives you something that you don't get from some of these other games. And like, sometimes that's what you want is kind of this little messier experience that has a lot more swinginess in what could happen. And like, maybe you're taking on more risk of a bad game. But we've had some games of Eldritch that are among some of our favorite gaming experiences.
Just unbelievable.
So don't be afraid, of game designers out there. I think there's still people, and there's probably examples of newer games that have come out, but I think you're right that we see less of this type of game design philosophy with most new games.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. There you have it. 4.
Eldritch number 4.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3. This did not make my top games last year, but playing it, and thinking about it, I was like,
what? So just to clarify, this is not a new game. It was outside of your top 20, and it is now your number 3.
I'm pretty sure.
Big time.
Let's flash the alarms. This is big time. Here we go, folks.
What happened?
Number 3, Wonderland's War.
Wonderland's War. Well, yeah, I think last time you had probably played it once. I think we've played it again since then.
Yeah.
Wow. I did not realize how much you liked this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the aspect of, so you have the tea party phase, and you go around the table and you get your cards, and you do that for, is it 3 rounds?
You end up picking, I think, 3 or 4 cards, and they give you all kinds of things, like you might add chips to your bag. And for the record, Daniel has not played this game.
Oh.
So Daniel does not, he's not as familiar with it. But you're doing a lot of bag building, right? You're getting things to put into but you might also be upgrading your character, getting these, there's or getting a Wonderlandian that you now have a unique kind of character. That's all going to feed into that area control.
The area,
second half.
And it's just, like that phase, and then going and like Pool of Tears or Red's Keep, and like those different areas you have to then battle for, and like victory points. I think that's such an interesting aspect of the game. And then there's this where you draw out of the bag, and
it kind of takes like the push your luck in a game like Quacks. That's now how you resolve the battles, is everybody's going up the battle track, and you have to decide like how far do you push, and it is a very interesting way that all does the area control.
Just the heroes and their powers, it's just,
there's a lot going on. There's a lot with the character abilities, and it's a very lavish production. It looks very good on the table.
It does.
I will say it makes me happy to see this so high, because it means that my predicting of what games you're going to like is still somewhat good.
Right.
Because I was like, this game just feels like it has your taste written all over it. Because I know you like the bag building piece.
Yes.
And then I know you like kind of the conflict area control piece. It's like, this just feels like it should be a hit.
It's true.
And look at that.
And it was
3.
Big hit. Yeah.
Daniel's got to play this one.
I do need to play this one. There you go. Bring it out with you this next month, Ryan. There you go.
Yeah, it's always hard to bring it on a vacation because it's a big box. It's got so many pieces, and you need a huge table for it. And
you got a minivan. You can fit it.
Yeah. Oh, wow, brand new. Brand new to the list. I would say like last year, it probably was just a little too early to say.
Yes,
I think it was like one recent.
But that's what I'm surprised Clink Catacombs made my list, because I've played that once.
That's true.
Yeah.
But I needed a little bit more of a taste of Wonderland.
Man, I am intrigued by these top 2, though.
Yeah.
I feel like one of them has to be. Well, let's just find out.
I know one of them, but we'll see.
Yeah. Well, I think the one you know is coming. It's been dethroned.
But still number 2.
Still number 2.
I'm still in shock. I'm in shock for a whole year after finding this out last time.
But number 2 is Tournament at Avalon. I still just got that very teacher take, which I like.
Yeah.
But then just the mind games of, should I play the higher sword now? Or like, is someone then going to play that the higher card loses the round? Just got a nice twist on something about the game.
It's like, I mean, you like trick-taking games or games like Teach You. It takes that type of game and like throws it through the cosmic encounter lens of let's just have wacky powers and things that happen, and like you sacrifice a lot of the control and maybe some of the like how much your strategy is actually going to like lead to you winning to just fun situations and craziness and funny moments, and it's a wild game. It's not for everybody, but it's for Kaitlyn.
Yeah,
for
Daniel,
sure.
what are your thoughts?
Well, I feel like I can't really speak to my thoughts because I played it once,
and it probably wasn't the best.
But easily, probably of the biggest discrepancy between your opinion of a game and of a game you like and me. I can totally see why you like it. Honestly, like, talking about it more, it's definitely got elements of other games that you've talked about. But man, number 2, it's not number 1 at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I will say, we've played it with probably the ideal, like as far as the people we have played. And you haven't had the opportunity to play with quite that type of group.
That's true.
That said, this is way lower for me. I mean, I like it, but it's not.
Yeah.
I don't think it's in my top 50.
I mean, this is her Agricola, Ryan.
Yeah, almost.
Yeah.
Don't say Agricola number 2 in the same sentence. That makes me sick. No matter what the answer is here, I'm gonna be surprised. On
just give me I just need like a moment to like take a pause and think.
I think I know what it is.
You think you know what it is? Okay, but you'll be surprised.
But if it's not it, I'm gonna be surprised that what I'm thinking missed the whole top.
Yeah,
20.
I know. Well, that's what's funny about when you get to a number 1 is it's either this or off the list. Surprise either way. So, Kaitlyn, here we go.
Here we go. Drum roll. I'm sure our mics picked that up really well.
Number 1. I won't leave you in suspense. Number 1 goes to Arcs.
Wow.
That is a big
Look at that. So that's a new to the list.
That is new to the list.
Straight to number 1.
Wow.
How about that?
That's pretty impressive. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, is that the game you were thinking?
It was the game I was thinking.
Well, I'm terrible at guessing, but not surprising, honestly.
It's a game Kaitlyn should like.
Yeah,
but number 1.
Yeah, Kaitlyn, tell us about Arcs.
Oh man, yes. The first time I played, I did awful. It was terrible. I think I scored like 3 points.
The game can do
that. But I
gave
it a chance again.
Why you give it a chance?
I think
your favorite game.
Did I?
I think you won the second time.
I think I won. And then we played. It was us 3 and then Steve, and it was back and forth between Steve and I just took second to him. But this is a game where I'm like, I feel like I just do really well at this game.
Actually, Daniel was in that game with Steve as well.
Oh, yeah.
He must have been so far behind, it felt like a 3-player game.
I don't even remember it.
No, that was you, Ryan.
Yeah.
Remember I stole all your...
Yes. I fondly remember that game.
Excuse me, Ryan. Don't let me bring up
it's
the
receipts. It's gone down in legend and lore
the receipts here, Ryan.
of how Ryan was able to double down on a ambition and then have everything ripped away
you
from
have
him.
talked about how I ripped away your dreams on this channel.
Hey, I had to try.
But I just enjoyed that aspect, and then I'm in the campaign mode with you.
Yeah, in fact, that's probably what's happening later today is continuing the Blighted Reach.
You got to play your number 1 game today.
Yeah.
Which it'll be very interesting to see once we finish that, being able to have the conversation of like what you think of the campaign versus just the standalone. I don't think we can really speak to the campaign too much right now based on our 1 play.
It's true.
Right.
The only thing I can speak to about the campaign is it starts out, there's that like the Empire or whatever that's like the neutral ground, and you're not allowed to attack each other unless someone becomes an outlaw. Well, the race I got was like, you want to become an outlaw basically as soon as you can.
Yeah.
So my first turn, I outlawed, which meant I could be attacked. But then it also meant I was the only one being attacked by the other two players. So it was like, moment between, I know I did what I needed to, but it was getting frustrating.
You were frustrated. Then we had to keep reminding you that you were doing quite well, and in fact, did win the game.
I did win the game.
Yeah.
And I think I'm somewhere off in space just by myself because I had some card that's like, oh, you can revive like 2.
Yeah, right at the end of our game, because at the beginning of the campaign, like 2/3 of the map is all covered in this blight, and you're kind of all in the non-blight section. But right at the end, Kaitlyn made this like big move around and like got rid of blight, and so starting in this next game, she's got this like little outpost that's like way out by itself.
And I'm just chilling.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But on paper, this game, again, sounds like a game you should like.
Yeah.
It's driven by a core trick-taking card mechanism.
It's got some of those elements,
which you definitely love those types of games. You are not going to find a more interactive game than this
My
game.
gosh.
It might be the most interactive game that I like. It is, man, the competition for those ambitions and just...
Yeah.
Like the ambitions, but also need to make sure you like have a card to be the ambition. But if someone else is leading and they lead the card that like is the one you want to use the ambition for, can't play out of suit. So it's just this whole interesting aspect of balancing when to play cards, what you need to save for to try to claim an ambition. It's just like I
feel like the line here between people being frustrated with the hand management and like loving the puzzle of it is very like this narrow line.
I think this
because
is
everything in it is
game.
hard. It's just like hard to do what you want to do, and like you're either gonna look at that and be like, this is frustrating because it's hard, or you're gonna be like, this is such a cool puzzle that's hard to solve.
Well, that's what I think is so funny about this game getting so much just attention is it's incredibly divisive, like in terms of whether you'll like it or not. I mean,
most people, I would venture to say, won't like it, and like it's not the right game for them.
Yeah.
But it's one of those games, and this is true of, games like Root and other ones by this designer, where if you like it, it might be your favorite game of all time, right? Like it's got that type of DNA that the people that do like it are going to love it.
Right. I do think maybe, compared to like a Root, which like teaching me, even just learning the game is like, this one has a little bit of an easier onboarding to the game, which might help with maybe a little bit of a wider appeal than something like that.
So I would argue that the tension and the scoring is almost more polarizing. In Arcs.
I haven't played Root. So.
Yeah, it's just so... I think the big thing is the fact that the only things that score are those ambitions. And it's all like zero sum, or like if I come and steal something from you, I've knocked you down 1 for me to go up 1.
Yeah.
And so that's so much of the game is constant paranoia of how are people going to come and steal things from me, and also where can I, position myself to go up.
I know. It's both trying to like make moves while also not leaving yourself vulnerable to like, it is just a fascinating tension.
Yeah, well, and that was with you when it happened in your game when you doubled up on the ambition because you had all the fuel and the material. I was like, I kind of have a shot to go at him here.
And I knew you had a shot. I knew our other friend had a shot. But like the thing is, it's not like you have lots of opportunities to declare the ambitions that you want.
Oh no!
Like if you get a lead and you have a card that you can declare the ambition, it's like I either do it or I'm not gonna get this chance again.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, it's a wild game. There's really nothing like it.
Yeah.
There really isn't. I am so pleased that you like it so much, because if you didn't, it would be hard for me to justify keeping it, honestly.
Yeah.
Because I don't have that many people that are going to play this type of game with me.
Yeah.
Wow.
But that said, instead, it's Kaitlyn's number 1, and in fact, we're going to go play it here in a little bit.
Well, it's just us now. They've left to go play Arcs, and it's just you and me. But hey, if you want to watch another video that I'm in, you can click right here. We'll see you in the next one.